All right, this is take two on a video I wanted to do. I just got done with a practice session where I was on an elevated area throwing kind of to a lower area in a soccer field. It was about 20 to 25 feet elevated. A little bit of a help wind. The wind was a little more left to right, but it did tail. And with those conditions, I threw my farthest shot by 70 feet today. I threw one that was 428 feet. My previous farthest was just about 360, a little less than 360. So, it's a boost to the ego. I don't know how valuable that is in terms of what it's going to translate to the course. I could feel that shot. I just hit the right pocket of angle, nose angle, and it was with I'll show you what disc it is. I got it to turn and then fade out, and it just traveled a good long ways. Now, I imagine, I've never seen somebody throw it 500 feet or even 600 feet. I imagine that just looks way more impressive. The 430 feet for me was the longest by a long shot, but it kind of was a little bit of a, how would I word it? A little bit of a letdown, to be honest with you. I thought it was going to feel like this unbelievable thing, but because of the nature of it, my throw didn't feel like I figured something out with my technique necessarily. I've got a couple things I've been working on, and it really kind of came together there. It wasn't a real hard run up. That was one significant thing. I had a good turn, and I think the nose angle was really the key there. But I thought I'd spend a few minutes to do a what's in the bag while I'm in my car before I get going here, just so I have it for posterity and show you where things are going. My game has improved a lot. I'm scoring pretty well relative to what I had done in the past. I got to put it all together. I've had a couple under par rounds on the par 3 course here. I'm starting to overpower that par 3 course to the point where it's still kind of fun to get out and just go as close by my house. But when I play a little bit more challenging courses, I think I can play it better. I played the Hudson Mills original course not that long ago, and I played it like close to par. I think I was +3. The Monster ate me up, but I made some big improvements since the last time I played the Monster, so I'm going to play that again soon. But let me show you some discs, or what my discs are that are in my bag. Hopefully I'll do this in a semi-organized way, but I got to dig through discs to be able to show it to you in order. So I'm going to go putters, mids, fairways, and then distance drivers. And I'll kind of go into a little bit of how I use these. So putters first. Sorry, should have done that already. All right, so I have this MVP gyro. Is it called? No, this is an anode, which a lot of people use anodes. This is a good disc. I use it a lot. It's overstable. I can kind of float it. My putting is probably the area I need to work on the most, which a lot of people would probably say that. But I like my putting. I spin putt it. And I can get this to go pretty long ways. I use this a lot for a little bit longer putts. I have a Dynamic Disc Link, which I found. It's beat up. It's overstable. I throw this for some of my longer approach shots. For some reason with this disc, I know it's kind of like a beginner disc, people have said, I can get this to park from like 175, maybe even 200 feet out and in. I park this disc more than anything else for my approach for some reason. I guess I just have a comfort level with the distance on it and stuff. Another putter that I do use a fair amount is this Lucid Judge from Dynamic Discs. And it's hard for me to tell you the situation that I use this disc the most. It's kind of just by gut feel, which I think is probably a mistake. It's a little overstable. I tend to use it probably for some of my closer putts where I'm just snapping it right in. I don't know. I do like this putter. I feel like I'm on the lookout for a new putter, not approach putter, but an actual putting putter. I'm not sure. This is a Keystone. This is called a putt approach, but it's a 7-speed. I have putted with it, but I really use this. I'm including it because it is kind of an approach or mid-range. It's like a transition disc for what I'm talking about here. But I have used this to putt, but I really use this because it'll hold an Anheuser angle and turn right pretty well. It seems to be much more understable than the numbers would indicate. In fact, I can get this to snap right pretty good. So I do use this in the woods a fair amount. There are days where this is my favorite disc, and there are days where I really, for some reason, it's not doing what I want it to do. So it's a little inconsistent that way, but when it's the right disc, man, I've thrown some unbelievably sexy shots with this one. I don't know why. All right, more focus on mid-range now. And I'll kind of blur the lines with some of my mid-range and my approach, or I guess you call them my fading into my fairway drivers. This is a Meteor. I bought this used at Play It Again Sports because I wanted to try it, and now I use it all the time. In the woods, I throw it straight. It'll hold whatever angle I put it on. If I put it on an Anheuser, it'll turn a little bit. If I put it on a Heiser, it'll turn left a little bit, or it'll throw straight. I kind of view this as like my meat stick. Like I just kind of chuck this through the woods a lot. This has become a very good disc for me. I've had a couple rounds where this thing was unbelievably useful, and I go back and forth. I don't know why. This is a MVP gyro. I'm sorry, reactor. Now I don't know what the reactor is supposed to be. Let me get this sticker off. I didn't realize it had a sticker on it. Apparently it's 174 grams. But I don't know what the gyro is supposed to do, but what I use it for is short distance Heiser turns into, not Heiser flips, but like a Heisering shot in the woods. Like if I have a kind of a hard left turning shot, this thing will just hold that Heiser perfectly. Like I throw it like 260, 270, and it'll just kind of turn the whole way. I use this disc a lot, actually. I'll show you the other discs I used to go the other way, but I have 2 or 3 discs in my bag where a couple go left just right and a couple go right just correctly. So this is the reactor. I like this. This one is so consistent for me right now. This is my Optiplastic compass, 5-speed. It's very stable. It'll basically do whatever I tell it to do. I use this a lot in the tight wood shots where I kind of just throw a diving straight shot for safety. Like let's say there's 2 trees that are real tight and I got to get just past them, or I need to get past them to be safe. I'll throw a diving straight shot and it'll just stop right where I want. I end up using this disc probably more than I should, to be honest with you. It's a little bit of a comfort disc. It probably limits me a little bit because I mean I can throw it 225, 230 on a straight line, but it's man, it is a good disc for. I guess I use it interchangeably with the Meteor, I'll say, but I can do some things with this that I don't do with the Meteor. The Meteor is more like a blunt force object, whereas this I can kind of pinpoint it a little bit more. All right, a couple more mid-range to show you that I use. I do use all these mid-ranges at different times. I've heard people recently say that they don't even have mid-ranges in their bag. I mean, really good disc golfers. I'm not at that level. I get it, but I like my mid-ranges. This is a Magician. This one is another Heiser line along with that reactor, but this one I throw a little bit further. And it's not as more of a sweeping right to left. It's more of a just dramatic. I can throw this. It'll kind of go and turn left to maybe even kind of S-turn 270-ish. I've parked a couple of tough shots with this disc, and this disc was given to me the first day I ever played disc golf. Somebody's like, well, welcome to the game, here, use this, because I didn't have anything that would do anything like this. and they just gave me that disc. I thought it was a very nice gesture. I don't know that I'll ever pay it forward because I'm greedy with my discs, but I use this one a fair amount. I like it. This is called a Pathfinder Thought Space. I don't know anything about the manufacturer. I found this in the woods. I throw this a long ways and straight, and it just kind of floats forever straight on. I really like this disc. I don't know anything about it. I actually was planning on doing some research on it, but this disc has, if I just describe left and right turning, well, I haven't gotten my right turning disc yet, but left, this one is just straight mid-range, maybe 280. I can probably throw this in the right conditions over close to 300. All right, a couple of understable. Oh, one more overstable I'll show you. This is my Verdict. It's an unstamped Verdict. I might dye this someday. And I can't remember the numbers on the Verdict. I know I kind of... I think this might be a 9-speed. But it goes straight for a long ways and then just snaps hyzer. And that is such a useful disc for me. Quite often I use this. I can picture a hole on the Monster course in Hudson Mills right now where you got to throw it like 230 or 240 and then you just want it to go hard left. This is really good for that. So I throw this one a fair amount. Okay, now understable mid-ranges. This is a 5-speed. It's called a Tursis and VIP plastic from Westside Discs. I bought this one specifically. It didn't come in a box. I went and got this disc because of the understable nature of it, because I really don't like throwing sidearm. I'm working on getting better at the sidearm, but this is my sidearm alternative disc in the woods where it'll turn right. If I throw it too hard, it loses its ability to do that, but it will turn right and then kind of just fade back. So I need that disc at this stage of my career. This is a those are my fairways. I have two others that I'll share with you. A little out of order, sorry, I forgot to mention this. I just lost my good soft plastic Truth, which is like a 7-speed version of the Verdict, or the Vandal, I guess it is. So I have this burst plastic Truth. This is kind of like if I'm gonna lose it in the woods or lose it in the water, I don't mind throwing it. This does something very similar. It goes straight and then snaps off for me. I end up using it there's certain holes where it's like there's no beating that disc. And then kind of the opposite of the Truth is this 5-speed Fuse. It will go and then kind of snap to the right, or if I throw it with the right, kind of flat with the right speed, it'll just hold an Anheuser line for a long time. So again, this is one of my alternatives to the sidearm discs. I don't ever try to get it to hyzer flip or anything like that. It's just a slower disc for that. But in the woods or in certain situations, I can get it to turn right pretty good. I've thrown some of the my best shots, most rewarding shots with this disc. I parked a shot the other day. It was a 330, 325, but downhill. Probably played more like 270. Fairly hard left to right turn, and I just kind of tossed it, and it just glided its way to within, inside the circle one for sure. So it was pretty cool. All right, fairways. So these two I just put in my bag. I lost my Maverick. I actually lost two Mavericks, but I lost my good soft plastic VIP plastic Maverick. So these I'm trying to use to replace it. So far not doing it. I'm still playing with them. They're a little bit different numbers. This is a Underworld, VIP Underworld, 7-speed, 6 glide, -3 turn, 1 fade. I think I'm throwing this too hard. I'm gonna try to just maybe a 1-step approach, and then throw it and let it do its job. The Verdict is still out on that disc. I may or may not end up keep using that one. This is a Drift from Streamline. This is a pretty disc. I kind of hate throwing it because I don't want to lose it. Similar thing though, it's a 7 stable. I have thrown this well, but I have not worked it. I just put it in the bag. I'm going to work with it a little bit more. I'm actually on the fence on whether or not I want to keep it in the bag, but this was supposed to, one of these two are going to probably replace my Maverick for the time being. I may just buy a new Maverick, I don't know. This is my Escape. It's a burst plastic, is another one of those where if I'm in a position where I have to throw it over water, I can throw this. I've thrown this actually 340 in not super favorable conditions. I mean, just kind of held the line and very straight. I can throw this disc pretty good, but I throw it very straight. So this is my, along with that Truth. Like I said, if there's a risk to losing a disc, those are the two that I tend to throw. This is my unstamped Diamond, lighter weight, very understable. I will throw roller with this, or a kind of a snap hook anhyzer throw. I can't really get it to turn. It almost never comes back. So I use it for more specialty things. I can roll that Keystone also, and one of my understable fairways. I can roll those, but this one is so easy to get to roll. But it's just kind of lightweight. But I do use this. All right, two more fairways. The two I throw the most. This is my Essence. It's an 8-speed 6 glide. I use this, actually I would use my Maverick in this kind of interchangeably. Some days I could throw the Maverick a little better, some days I could throw this a little better. I probably throw this disc the most out of almost anything in my bag, frankly. I can kind of just get it to do whatever. Lately, since I've been working on power and distance, I've been throwing it too hard and it's kind of losing its turn. So I'm going to try to get back to just using it the way it's supposed to be used. I threw a really good shot with this one the other day, so it's probably right there. Now this one I got specifically, I went and bought it specifically to replace my Maverick. Somebody recommended it to me. It is a Saint Gold Series Saint, beautiful disc. Maybe one of the top 2 or 3 prettiest discs I have in my bag. This one and that Drift, I think, are the two best looking discs. I think I just like them. So I don't know. I kind of hate. I've only ever thrown this one in open field areas or whatever. This is a 7 glide. It's the highest glide number I have in my bag. It's a little understable. I've yet to really get it to do exactly what I think it should do. It does not turn as much as I think it should. I think I'm throwing it a little too hard. I'm gonna play around with this one. But this went in my bag about a week ago. Kind of a cool disc. All right, distance drivers. That's it for my fairway drivers. Distance drivers. This is the disc I've thrown the farthest, and that was as of today. I threw this disc 428. This is my Discraft Thrasher, 12-speed, 5 glide, -3, 2. And this, when I found this disc at the original course at Hudson Mills, and when I found this disc and threw it, I knew that this would be, first of all, this is to replace my Scorch, and I like it better than the Scorch. I'll probably never buy another Scorch. I never could quite get it to do what I wanted. This Thrasher does exactly what I thought the Scorch was going to do, and I knew this was going to be my farthest throwing disc. It's ESP plastic. I can get it to, this is the disc I can get to hyzer flip the best. It's a little bit on the heavy side, which I like. I probably need it in situations. And so this is my go-to disc when I'm really trying to smash it in an open field area. I like it. Now, it's not the disc I throw the farthest, the most consistent, but it's the disc that has the most potential for distance for me so far. Because this is really my hyzer flip disc. I have one other, but this is the one that is kind of my go-to. So, Thrasher. Next, another understable hyzer flip disc is my Westside Disc Sword. Now, this is not as understable as I thought it was when I was getting it. I actually thought I was getting this to replace the Scorch, The guy recommended it to me, but I think he had me get this to replace my... Actually, now that I think about it, this is probably... It's kind of domey VIP plastic. I have a lot of Westside Disc VIP plastic discs. A lot. But, I guess this one probably replaces my Star Destroyer that I just lost. Which, I gotta be honest, I think I like the Star Destroyer better. I've thrown this one well a couple times. It definitely will hyzer out, but it is what it is. I like it. I'm still getting used to it. A couple more overstable discs. I just put this in my bag recently after leaving it out for a while. This is a gyro from MVP. This is my Spike Hyzer disc, and I can get it to skip pretty well too. It's pretty sharp lip. I have never really got it to turn. I think I've got to work on the technique for that. But this is a good disc, and I also use this as kind of a rescue disc. I can throw a thumber with it. I can throw a forehand roller with it a little bit. It's kind of a neat disc. That's the gyro. This is my other overstable distance driver. This is my Latitude 64 Halo. I found this like literally 2 feet away from where I found my Thrasher. And now these are two discs that I really love having in my bag. It's kind of crazy. I've lost some really good discs. I've given it back out to the world, so I don't feel bad. And these weren't marked up or anything like that. So I throw that disc a fair amount. I mean, I've gotten that to go pretty good distances. Okay, now a couple of weird discs that I keep in my bag. A lot of people, because I've really worked at throwing harder, and a lot of people would stop throwing these discs because they're lightweight. But I use them specifically for certain things. So I have a Sapphire, which I can really get it to flex still without throwing it real hard. I think that's the whole idea. It's supposed to be an easy to use distance driver. 10 speed, 6, -2, 1.5, but it's only like 160, I think it's 160 grams or 158. I lost my Innova Beast not that long ago, and I'm kind of using this to replace that. I will say they're different but similar. I might buy another Innova Beast or something else. I was using my Innova Beast and my Essence in connection with each other. I could do similar things, but this one is fine. And then these two discs I throw the farthest, the most consistent. They're lightweight. They're 150 class. This is 157 grams. This is 151 grams. They are Hero discs. I have one other Hero disc at home that I keep in a box. I like the stamp on it. I don't want to use it, and it's kind of a weird shaped disc, anyways. But I've lost 3 Hero discs, and it bums me out because I love them. I know you're not supposed to throw lightweight discs when you get better and start throwing farther, but I like throwing that one. I like throwing those two, and I can throw them 350, 360 consistently in lots of conditions. Now, headwind, no way, but lots of other conditions, and they kind of just go straight, and I can get them to flex the most out of everything I have. So that's my bag right now. I know it's a little eclectic. I know it's a little strange. The way I built my bag is a combination of discs I found, mystery discs I've bought, a couple of specific targeted discs that I was trying to get to do certain things to make up for not having a sidearm, and a couple discs that were given to me. I guess that's it. Oh, and a couple of used discs I got from Played Against Sports. And I know I'm all over the board on brands. I will say consistently I'm like a Trilogy guy, but I live in Michigan. I live like literally 20 minutes from Discraft's manufacturing, and I kind of wanted to throw, and I like a couple of Discraft discs a lot. But I just bought a couple of mystery boxes from, well, last year I bought a mystery box from MVP. This year I just bought a couple of mystery boxes from Dynamic Discs that I haven't even gotten the mail yet, that I'm going to do a review on. And so I might add a couple of those to my bag. And then I guess if I buy more discs in the future, which I'm sure I will eventually, I might probably try to get away from Trilogy just to change it up. I like the Dynamic Disc stuff, and I like the the MVP stuff quite a bit. They're different. I will say, everybody says a disc's a disc. There seems to be a huge difference between Trilogy and MVP discs. Huge difference. And some of the things that MVP does well, I can't do with the other discs. So, all right, signing off.